Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Asher. Today is 6 weeks for me now on T, so that's pretty sweet. Um, Halfway to 3 months. um, Changes. Wanted to talk about some things I guess I've just forgotten in past updates, and some things are completely new. Hair, body hair. Kind of cool. I'm starting to get a little mustache hair, and it's not noticeable. Obviously, you can't see it, but I can. And really, that makes me really happy. That's super exciting. And um, kind of a funny story, actually. Um, I'm a dog groomer, that's what I do for a living. So I cut dogs' hair, and it's really common to get what we call hair splinters, and that's where you shave a dog down and it has prickly hair, you hug it or, you pick it up and move it, and their hair pricks in your skin and it gets stuck there. Hair splinters. They kind of hurt a little bit. You gotta like pluck them out with tweezers, get them, on the sides of your face or in your neck sometimes, and anywhere where there's creases. Um, anyway, so here I am, like, in the mirror, I'm brushing my teeth and stuff after I get out of the shower, and I'm looking, I pick at my face. I'm really bad about that kind of stuff when I get, like, acne or whatever. So, yeah, I'm picking at my face, and I see this little prickly black hair right here. And, I'm, like, looking in the mirror, looking at it all close, and, it looks like a black dog hair, and I shaved a black lab earlier that day, and I was like, ugh, this dog's hair. So I get the tweezers and I pluck it out and realize it is attached. It was mine. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. I plucked my first mustache hair, but fortunately, a couple days later, I got some more. So now I have like maybe like 8 or 10 tiny little hairs on my lip. So I'm excited. Um, let's see. Not really any more hair anywhere else yet. My eyebrows are getting thicker. I've always had tiny, tiny eyebrows, tiny everything. I'm just tiny. But hopefully I'll get bigger, a little bit. I know my height, they say, won't change, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, so I'm starting to get like more hair on the bottom. Like it's just feeling, it's like random places, making my eyebrows a little thicker, and it makes them look like straight across. And honestly, I think that it makes my facial expression, like my natural expression, look more mean or angry. So I don't know how I feel about that really. But I guess, guys have thicker eyebrows, so, whatever, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Uh, that's it as far as body hair. Um, there have been a couple things I've really noticed as far as like emotions and stuff. Some kind of changes in the way I feel day to day, or just my opinions on things that I thought were pretty solid. That have changed a little bit. Um, One of those things being cuddling. And I have to bring this up because I have always loved cuddling. I love cuddling. And I like to be the little spoon. I always snuggled up, my girlfriends. I like to put my head on their chest and like curl up and, fall asleep or just cuddle, watch a movie. Loved it. Anyway, I have noticed since starting tea, well, or at least, a week after, and ongoing, now, I'm not about it anymore. I don't like to cuddle unless it's after sex. And, I'm really not all that, that's not something I'm really all that comfortable talking about, my sex life or whatever, but I will say that, I really love to cuddle, and now I find it to be extremely sexually frustrating. And that's kind of funny because I would never think of cuddling as, like, as sexually frustrating. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, but I can't be close to my girlfriend, like that close in physical contact, um, if I haven't, like, just had sex, it, it just makes me frustrated. So, that's interesting. I mean, it kind of sucks. I feel bad because she loves to cuddle. Um, and so do I. And I used to like to cuddle a lot in the morning when I woke up and at night whenever I go to bed. But now those are kind of like my peak times, I guess you'd say, for sexy time or whatever. So, yeah, no more cuddling. That's definitely something I didn't expect. As far as other emotional stuff, uh, I haven't cried. I haven't cried at all, actually, um, in the past 6 weeks since my first shot. And not to say like I am very sensitive actually, but not to say that I cried a lot because I really didn't. But I could get to the point where I was frustrated enough. If I'm really really frustrated or overly stressed or just overwhelmed, it would be something that I would do alone when no one's around. And it's not like a big deal, but um, yeah, probably would say I at least cried every month, once a month or something, or I felt different. And um, now my emotions they're a little bit different. Like I handle things differently, as far as I've noticed. So instead of feeling sad or feeling like that tight feeling in your throat when you like you could cry, um, that doesn't really happen anymore. And now it's kind of this weird internal frustration, um, or like internal grief. It's just kind of like like even like more just irritated, and it's just like I have to zone out and just like chill and be by myself, and like it just goes away, or I let it go. I'm just like, nah, like why make a big deal out of this stuff? Eventually it's not going to be a big deal. So that's interesting, and I think it's really funny because I always like to think that I'm like a man, and I've always been that way, and to some extent, yeah, um, for sure. But it's just really funny to me how you have these ideas of like what is masculine and what's feminine, and you know how men think and how women think. And I've always been like, like my friends tell me, oh, you're such a dude, like you're just like us or whatever, and it's cool. Like I am like them, but it's interesting to see the difference now in minor things that I would have never considered that would just change, including stuff like that, just the way I think or handle situations, and the way that I get frustrated. It's different. So there's that. Um, Muscle, I'm still gaining muscle mass. I'm not going to show you my muscles again because that's really not, um, you know, whatever. It's the same as last week. But I mean, definition, it's really cool. I'm still able to, work out. I don't get tired as easily. Um, and man, I can run. I can run. Like I used to run marathons actually and half marathons. It's always been something I've been into, but I'm not a fast runner, and I never have been a fast runner. Um, my pace has always consistently been 10-minute miles, unless it's like I'm racing somebody for like half a mile or something. But my pace doesn't really get faster than that ever. It's always been 10-minute miles, whether I'm running 1 mile or 10 miles or 26.2. Um, that was my pace, and I was like, I have short legs. I'm small in general, um, and I've never wanted to go faster. Like I feel like it would be too tiring, or I wouldn't make it as far. And now, um, I went to the gym the other day, and I was running on 6.0. That's like the setting or whatever for 10-minute mile. What I usually do, and I ran a mile, and I was like kept running, and I felt like it was too slow, and it was like not my pace. And I was like, why does it feel this way? It was really weird, and I don't like to run too fast because I'd rather go harder, or go longer, I mean. um, so that was kind of weird, because my feet aren't any bigger, my legs aren't any longer, obviously. um, and I don't my legs were so toned before from biking and running. So I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, I don't drive at all. I'm scared of driving. It's a long story. It's irrelevant, but I don't drive. I ride my bicycle everywhere, mountain bikes, BMX bikes, longboarding, whatever. I exercise a lot. So, yeah. Um, my muscles in my legs, as far as I've noticed, really haven't changed. So I don't know where that came from, but it's pretty cool. Um, I can run faster. Cool. Uh, so yeah, muscle distribution, like, or not muscle distribution. I mean, like body distribution, like fat and stuff. I have noticed that it's kind of moving around a little bit. I've always been pretty healthy. I don't have a lot of body fat. I work on that all the time, although sometimes I eat like crap. But yeah, so I know a lot of people say your belly gets bigger because you lose the weight like in your butt or your chest, legs even. But I really didn't have a lot of body fat to distribute to my stomach. So definitely that's good. But I have noticed that my ass is smaller, and that's really cool because um, something all through my adolescence and all the growing up, like the one thing I could never escape was how big I felt like my hips looked, and my butt. Like even in men's pants, 2 sizes too big, it would be really tight on my waist and on my butt and loose everywhere else. Like I'm small, but I had a really round, bubbly, nice girl butt that I've never wanted. So, so glad that that's kind of gone away a little bit. I don't know that it's gone away, but it looks different and it fits better in pants. I feel like more of a man in my pants, and I feel more secure. So that's really cool. Um, yeah, so I'll stop there with that. A couple other changes in my sleeping patterns. It's pretty lame. Like I'm kind of, I get tired really easily. I'm really busy too. So usually like by around 10 p.m. I'm pretty tired. Um, I kind of relax at that point. I either watch a little bit of TV or read a book. I definitely like to get into bed around 10 o'clock. That's bedtime for me. Now my brain doesn't shut off, and my body either. I have such a harder time going to sleep. Um, and when I'm really exhausted, like I can fall asleep in 10 seconds. You can be talking to me, and I could just curl up and fall asleep. That seems to have changed. I'm hoping it doesn't change forever because I really liked my sleep and being able to do that. But definitely, it's hard now for me to fall asleep and stay asleep. I've noticed that I toss and turn a lot, and I feel like it's all night long. Last night, I remember, or subconsciously, while I'm kind of sleeping, I'm like, oh, I keep tossing and turning. Like, I know I'm moving around, and like I'm not sleeping well. And I thought it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I thought I'd been tossing and turning for 8 hours, and I looked at the clock, and it was like 2:30. And I tried to go to sleep. I think I fell asleep around like maybe like 12:30. So all of that tossing and turning had been going on in just 2 hours, meaning I don't even know if I was really asleep. Like, so that's unfortunate. Like I'm kind of restless, and that happens all night. But the good news is I can operate better on less sleep. Um, so at least there's that. And I don't know, I have heard that taking tea does affect your sleeping patterns a bit with your hormone changes and all that. And if you have like sleep apnea, I know it can make it more significant or whatever. I don't know that I've ever had sleep apnea. I feel like I slept just fine before, so I hope for change in that department. But yeah, also sweating. I'm starting to sweat a lot. In my sleep, I wake up in the morning and I wear like A-shirts when I go to bed, and it's like drenched. It's disgusting. So I'm sweating even when I'm sleeping. I also sweat a lot more at work, and I wear, I have my binder, and then I have my muscle shirt, and then I have my t-shirt, and then I'm a groomer, so then I have my smock. So here I am wearing like 4 freaking layers. and doing hard work. I'm on my feet all day. I'm like wrestling with big dogs and trying to trim their nails, trying to make them look all pretty. So yeah, that's it sucks. It sucks to be hot all the time. And I never was like that. I've always been freezing. I'm from Texas. Well, I was raised in Texas, so yeah, like I usually, I'd walk into a movie theater and I'm like, oh, it's so cold, and classrooms, it's cold. I've always been like that person's like, I'm ready to put a sweatshirt on, or I'm doing this like as soon as I go inside somewhere. And that really doesn't happen anymore. Like I feel comfortable in cooler weather and stuff. So that's a change. And in the sweating department, I can't skip a shower now. And if I do, like I think I'm okay. Like, the other day, I made that mistake. I was like, oh, sniff test, like, oh, I'm okay. Like, I don't need to take a shower. Kind of scrub myself down, wash my face. Um, and yeah, and then I went to bed. And the next day, like in the morning, I thought it was cool. Like I thought it would be fine. But clearly, like 3 4 hours later, after I'd been at work, it was just horrible. I was like, oh my god, I am smelly. I hope no one else can smell me. Like, blame it on the dogs. I'm spraying like puppy cologne all over. And yeah, anyway, so showering, that's something that can't be skipped anymore. Um, yeah, this is now at like 16 minutes, so I think I'm going to end it here. I did have one more thing to talk about, having to do with work and customers. But I think I can save that for the next video because I'm sure I'll have more experiences with that as well that I can just kind of add to it. Anyway, so that's me. Changes at 6 weeks. I guess I'll talk to y'all in maybe one or two more. Cool. Later.